Hello, theme park fans, and welcome to episode 81 of the E-Ticket Report. My name is Chris Wakefield, and I am joined by my co-hosts, Jalen Harvey.
Hey, y'all, what's good?
Ryan Barr.
Howdy.
And Tommy Hawkins.
Hello. You all right? How's it going?
All right, so this will be our sort of D23 predictions episode. We have, it's been 3 years since the last D23 Expo. I kind of feel like, Tommy, that, and you follow these things closely, do you feel like people are still conditioned to expect big things from D23 nowadays?
Well, they are, and I think in this scenario, they're really going to have their sort of expectations like disappointed, I guess is the right word, because we know that they haven't got the infrastructure in place that they had 2019. You know, they fired 30% of WDI during the pandemic. They've come
how many percent left because they didn't want to move to Lake Nona?
Yeah. So what we're looking at now, realistically, they don't have the people that they once had, and you guys know, we know that whatever project you're working on, even let's forget Disney, let's think of any theme park or whatever, they'll start planning ideas 3, 4, 5 years ahead. So all these sort of questions are being like, oh, well, can they counter what Epic Universe have got? Blah, blah, blah. The answer is already no, because we're now in 2022. And we would have heard something, at least a little tiny thing, that possibly this is happening, that's happening, whatever, going into this. But we know that there's no obvious big, massive things that they've got planned. So I think people are right to expect stuff because that's the nature of the business. You know, you keep building new stuff to keep people coming back. If you stop building new stuff, people stop coming back. But I think this one could be a little bit different. What do you think?
Okay, well, let's start again. D23 is it this month or next month? Is it September or August?
Next month.
Yeah, about a month.
Next month.
About a month today, roughly.
Okay, and I also forget that we're already in the middle of August, it sounds crazy to me. But I want to first, as we go division by division, park by park, I want to talk about what was promoted or promised or displayed last time at D23 in 2019. So we'll start with Epcot. Here's what we got.
Can we sort of just underline this before you go,
sure,
listing stuff, that everything that we're about to talk about is all Iger's legacy. And he knew going into this kind of period, like I've just said, where there's a set amount of time that they start planning this stuff, he knew that everything announced in 2019 really was his, walking out the door legacy projects, right? So
you think he was ready to go by 2019? By fall of 2019?
I think that he knew anything he announced in 2019 that he was due to leave at the end of 2021. I'm fully convinced that he had no intention of staying beyond 2021. He obviously left earlier. So if you think about it in terms of that's basically 24 months, he knew that anything that he announced then in those following 2 years would be it. There wouldn't be anything else. Like
his swan song.
Yeah, really. And obviously when Shape It came in, half the stuff that he did cancel, he really didn't give a shit about because it was Iger's legacy stuff, and he dropped a shit sandwich on his lap and ran out the office rather sharpish, didn't he? So, yeah, anything that you list now is kind of Iger legacy projects. So, carry on.
We'll start with Epcot. I'll go real quick over what was announced in 2019, and then you guys can chime in with what you think, if anything, might be coming to D23 this year. So Epcot, they announced the Walt statue. They announced Moana, the Shape of Water. Is it the Shape of Water? The Shape of Water, the Moana fountain display.
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water is completely that. Oh my God!
Is that a Shyamalan film or something like that?
That's Guillermo del Toro.
Oh
yeah, where like the chick basically bangs Creature from Black Lagoon. That's kind of the plot.
He won an Oscar for that. So I'm sorry, The Journey of Water, Moana Journey of Water. We got some new details on Guardians of the Galaxy back in 2019. A big announcement we got was Space 220. They announced the neighborhoods
as well.
They announced the neighborhood concepts. They announced that what was that next level upcharge area they were doing for events? Did the thing ever have a name? The floating
we just
garden
said the
type
Jetson
of thing?
table, right? They didn't give it it was just the festival pavilion.
Oh yeah, the festival pavilion. The one thing the non-ride thing that actually looks pretty cool.
Right.
It's the one thing.
And then they announced a very vague-ish Mary Poppins attraction. And I think that was it from 2019. What we got announced. So I'm sorry, the Beauty and the Beast single.
I know
you've
got stuff like. Are you talking? You're just talking Disney World, aren't you? Because I say you had things like
we're talking about
Runaway.
So Beauty and the Beast,
We're Our Way, stuff like that, didn't we?
Right, Beauty and the Beast, and then the new nighttime show Harmonious was also. We got some more details on that. So that's everything we got last time. We know obviously what did not come to fruition. So what do we see coming to Epcot announcement-wise this time around, if anything?
If they are now on the attack for, I guess, if they're on the attack or just want to save face, or not even save face, but if they just want to finish this off, we're probably going to get maybe Mary Poppins, and we might get play with just something in there. I don't know what it is. It could be that for years they've been talking about this little rinky-dink, like Wreck-It Ralph attraction going over to Tomorrowland. I can totally just see them putting that in the Play Pavilion.
And we're doing. Let's clarify real quick. We're doing a prediction show, Jalen. We're not doing an if, maybe. We're saying I think they will announce this.
Oh my god!
Lay your hat down on the table. This is a prediction.
I think they're going to. Okay, motherfucker.
Right, before you think on this, Jay. Whatever was announced for Play Pavilion, blah blah blah, at that time was stuff that they wanted to push at that time, right? And he made a big song and dance about how it's black box, it can be anything, blah blah blah. So that time is dead, right? That's 3 years ago. That's gone. So think now when you talk about what Play Pavilion's going to be 18 months, 2 years, think about what they need to push now, and it'll be what they need to push, not what we want. So make your predictions based on the next thing that's out now or coming out or whatever that can go into that pavilion like right now.
Honestly, truthfully, the Play Pavilion, if I'm thinking in that mindset, whatever's on Disney Plus currently. The Play Pavilion just kind of seemed like that one scene from Wreck-It Ralph where they were pimping out the entire Disney Corporation. So maybe that's what the Play Pavilion is. It's a generic place where you can put a bunch of generic characters at. Whatever the character of the month is, whatever character you want to push out that has a new movie and new hotness, it's the Disney Plus.
The way it seems to have been spoken about, it seems to almost be that kind of Disney Quest kind of mindset of let's just throw anything tech in, throw the kitchen sink in anything tech, and like try and like round up all the different like factors of the Disney company, and hopefully it'll make it stick on something that people want to spend time in. Do you know what I mean? Like VR, blah blah blah, all these sort of things, all these extra kind of stuff. Didn't they spend money on some weird like WDI, like I don't know what it was. It was like a weird kind of. It was almost like a tech like kind of wing of Imagineering.
They do that, they do that at every expo.
Oh, the R&D labs.
Yeah, they announced it for this year too. Yep.
So I just think it's going to be like kitchen sink kind of style, like IP, right? Okay, let's just cross promote the kind of show that you see in other places, like not in a Disney park. Basically, the low hanging fruit, easy stuff to do is my opinion of what we'll get, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to be anything that you're going to go, wow, this is amazing. It's going to be something you could take your kids to, like if you want to call off for an hour.
Does anyone see a new e-ticket for Epcot being announced?
Yes. So I'll lay out my predictions. I also had Poppins and the Play Pavilion coming back. Obviously, we know Play Pavilion has got to be doing something. But Poppins, it could be brought back. Nothing has been said about it.
It's going to have to be something really freaking tiny. Because there's no...
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to tear down that pavilion behind UK You could replace that.
But they use that. That's the point, though. Like one thing follows the other, right? So they cancelled the Garden Bridge. I call it a Garden Bridge because it looked like that bridge that Boris tried to build in London. The Festival Pavilion thing. They cancelled that, which meant that the bookings that they could have moved from that pavilion, because that pavilion makes them money, they could have moved them to the Festival Pavilion. Now they're not building that; they can't move them over. So
yeah, I think you can
kind of stuck with
relocate or replace it easily.
Wait, aren't they like the whole new like the mini Communicore Center? Isn't that what? Doesn't it also have like a hall attached to it? So there's like a stage on the outside, and then there's going to be like a world showplace type of hall on the side of it.
Yeah, so
I remember seeing that
the
in
thing
the
that they're replacing
Communicore Hall.
Yeah, the thing they're replacing the Festival Pavilion with is going to have a stage. And it looks like, I don't know, it's some kind of indoor venue, but not very big. But yeah, I think they could pull a surprise and announce an overhaul of Imagination, or even just a completely new ride taking over Imagination. I vote for like a family
circling the drain for 20 years.
I feel like a family thrill ride would be cool. I'll take anything, honestly. But
they need something on. No, go ahead.
But I think Chapek knows Figment better than any CEO before him, and he will put Figment on the pedestal and make him, the icon of Epcot.
So to clarify, Ryan, you're predicting a new e-ticket for Imagination.
Yeah.
Okay.
I second that.
You too, Jay.
Yeah.
I think it's easy.
I would love to see it.
I think it's easy.
I would love to see it. It is easy. And we've seen this before where it's been almost every other new Pixar movie that came out. We would get the rumor mill, oh, that's going to be Imagination now. Inside Out, that's going to be Imagination, or this and that.
Yeah.
And so,
in
like you said, Tommy.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's been circling the drain for almost 20 years, if not longer than that.
On top of that, they just need something to pull, because you have Guardians and all the thrill rides on one side of the park.
That's a good point.
It needs something notable on the other side besides Soarin'. Like, it can still be slow. It can still be a family ride. It can still be something like what Figment is, but it needs to be something spectacular to kind of, at least to balance things out.
I forgot one more thing. There's going to be a hotel built in front of Epcot in World Celebration, kind of like taking away some of the parking, but it'll be like a tower hotel, like Bay Lake Tower.
Well, I've been saying for a while that I think they started to do it. There's plans to move the park out, the parking lot out and sideways a bit, that they could basically put an entrance hotel like kind of where the monorail comes in, if that makes sense. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, curves kind of.
So basically, you know where the monorail station is. So there's quite a massive strip of like green, like the other side of the monorail. If you've got Spaceship Earth to your back, and then you walk past, you got past the monorail station, you've got this whole kind of area. They could do like a mirrored kind of.
Well, that was originally supposed to be like an expansion of the monorail station to connect to Hollywood Studios. That's what all that space is for. But yeah,
I can see them putting a hotel there, and then all they're doing is just push 10, 15, 20 rows of parking lot spaces out. And
do we see any announcements or updates for Harmonious, which debuted, appears to still be, they're tinkering with it, but it was a flop. I think it's safe to say that now. Any updates or announcements we'll get for Harmonious?
I think we'll get a new ending. Whether they'll say it's a new ending, but I think we're definitely going to get some Encanto in it. It's like you'd be an absolute moron not to do that. I think they'll change the ending, because the weird kind of ballad, like it peaks and then it just tails off, and then you're like, is that it? So the ending obviously needs improving. I think they can but you've got with what they've put in, they can change it however they want. It's easy. It's not, it's not physically difficult to change it. You're just uploading a new video and a new profile, a new lighting profile, new pyro. It's not tricky, but it's easy. Anybody can do it. It's spending that time actually doing the content that you want to put on those screens. That's the, making the show work. But yeah, I can see that happening. I can see an Encanto ride of some sort going in one of them expansion plots. I've highlighted a couple of little ones. There's a few, like there's space behind Germany. There's a couple of little spaces they could put something in. There's
even see room. It, but are you predicting it?
I can see a non-tangible announcement, i.e. we're going to do this.
Will Chapek say the words? Expansion.
Encanto, Colombia.
Tommy, I'll help you out here because I do believe that we might get a Colombia pavilion because of Encanto.
It makes sense to me.
It makes sense to everybody, Like if it was me, I would announce the Colombia one with an Encanto. I would expand. I would put a Luca ride at the back of Italy. I would do 2 or 3 and just go all in, just go balls deep with it, and just go right. We've spent, it's like the perfect opportunity a month before the 40th anniversary. Like the optics of going, okay, 40 years. We've Epcot has been alive 40 years. Now to take Epcot into a new thing. We're going to finally finish the World Showcase. We're going to fill every single expansion plot. We're going to do. That's what I would do because that would get people.
Would they
talking.
go more broad and do just a South America pavilion and do Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, the ABC countries that Walt visited with the Walt and El Grupo documentary we've all seen? Could they go? I mean, they could go more broad and just do. We're doing South America, and you can do Brazil. You can do.
But this is what Colombia, I mean about Argentina. me predicting a kind of non-tangible prediction, something that kind of is quite vague and leaves you like wondering and not actually knowing. Are they building Colombia? Are they building that? And just kind of going, like all these kind of double Dutch that he uses, like we're going to build something that's going to be more Disney or more like to what we're releasing now, blah, blah, blah. It will just be a load of bollocks words, but basically saying we want to build some sort of Encanto ride and we're going to figure out later how we're going to do that and what it's going to be, what kind of tent it sits under later. But that's what we've decided.
Tommy, you are British. We can tell by your accent. We try and hide it, but there's no denying it.
I'm Canadian. Didn't you know? Didn't you know?
If I gave you $100 million, I'm making you an Imagineer, and I'm giving you $100 million to take the England Pavilion and build the Tommy Hawkins England experience, what would you do with it?
100 million?
100
million.
Well, it's Disney, so that's enough for like one bathroom. So,
what kind of flooring could I get from James Boyd from that? Like, how much quartz, like granite flooring, can I get with 100 million? Not much.
How would you improve England in Epcot and World Showcase?
Solid Circle Vision attraction right there. 100 million.
Oh yeah.
Someone talked a slam dunk for a UK thing that was. It wasn't Poppins. It was something else. What's the other like obvious English like Disney IP that's like coming?
Sherlock Holmes.
Kingsman.
I'd love that.
Kingsman.
If they built
James Bond.
You make the Kingsman.
They don't know that, but they actually own Kingsman. They could do Thingy Street. What's
World Showcase experience with the Kingsman. Like you get missions.
That would be good if you had a ride. So you basically you're doing like a modern freaking haunted mansion where you go into the tailor's shop and then go down a lift and then you're on a ride.
Oh god,
yes.
That's good.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
All right. But so any other predictions for Epcot? No. Okay.
No, they're done with Epcot. Like I said,
hotel.
unless they go all in on going heavy on the 40th anniversary and what he wants, like putting his mark on Epcot for the next 10, 15 years. I don't think that's it. They're done with Epcot.
Do you think they might feel burned because they announced Poppins, they announced the Garden Bridge, they announced Play Pavilion, and 3 years later, none of that's happening. So are they maybe gun shy this year and going, let's hold back because we kind of overpromised as usual last time?
Well, they can blame it all on COVID though, can't they? They've still got that get out of jail card they can drop.
Listen,
Universal's not using that card.
A couple weeks ago,
they're Universal. They actually build shit.
A couple weeks ago at San Diego Comic-Con, Kevin Feige, who has been kind of pressured by the executives at Disney lately, was spewing everything. So
who knows?
I think they have a lot in their bag. I Think they have a lot.
I don't think they're, like you said, they've got, what do you say, like gun shy or whatever. They're like, once bitten, twice shy. I don't think they can afford to be like that now. Now they've got to double down and over promise and promise. Like if it was 27 announcements last time, they probably need to go 40 because they know Epic's coming. And,
wow. Okay.
And they know their audience can be very forgiving and very forgetful if they promise this, that, and the other, and stuff quietly gets dropped later. It's only us little niche like nerds that actually remember this stuff, and even we forget stuff. We forget stuff that they've quietly dropped. But I
promise we won't spend 20 minutes on every park or segment, so we'll try and get through these. Let's move to Magic Kingdom. Anyone see any predictions coming this year for a Magic Kingdom announcement? There's one obvious one that's out there, one real big one.
We'll get the opening date for Tron.
Okay, that's one.
Because it's probably going to be about a month after like this thing runs. And I think we'll get some more...
Whoa, pause. Do everyone give their best guess on the opening date for Tron? We're on the record right now. When is Tron opening? Give me the date.
It's the end of October, start of November. It's got to be before Thanksgiving.
Give me a date.
The 1st of November.
November 1st? Yeah, November 1st. Fine, if you want to split hairs.
Okay.
What do you mean split hairs? We said the same date.
No, not you. I'm in Wakefield.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with
I can give you the time and date, too.
January 31st, 2023.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Why is that so specific, though?
I don't know.
He's on the record, though. I'm going to go with November 4th. Friday the 4th of November.
When does Not So Scary officially finish? When's the last one? I was going
to say, it started 2 weeks ago, so...
November 2nd, normally it runs into like 1 or 2 days after actual
I'm saying the 4th.
I think, Chris, you might be onto something just for if they want it, they want to be done with Not So Scary and then still have reasons for people to come to the park. But I do think we'll see softs in the whole month of October in like previews like we did with Rewind.
I think that's why.
Do you think we'll get a Tron on board ride through or POV maybe?
No, because there's been no indication that they've even been on it yet, but they probably have recorded one.
Yeah.
Okay. But I suspect that in the next couple of weeks they will be riding it because everything in that respect is done. The forecourt and stuff is pretty much concrete's poured, everything's done like that. It's really, there's not a lot. Unlike your boy Braden who said, "Oh, they're way behind on the interior." No, they're in the home straight now. So
I say
he's got the sources, man.
I say they milk out the rest of the time. They finish it. They leave it there until after Christmas because they know the crowds are going to be there. Why not open it during the biggest lull of the year?
That's a good point.
Because it will be open before the biggest lull of the year,
season.
And that will give them more. That will give them people coming into the parks during the biggest lull. Why wait it out?
Because
why wait out the lull when you've got something to get people?
Tell the shareholders, look at this spike in the attendance at this time.
That's a good point.
On top of that, people
they want to hit the ground.
Anyway.
No, because this year is like in terms of finances is the recovery year. The new financial year starts at the first of what is it? 1st of October.
Right.
Yeah.
But what Ryan's saying is you're going to max out capacity anyways during the holidays.
What I'm saying is if this year was the recovery year where it was a bit more forgivable, they've got to hit the financial year. They've got to hit the ground running from the financial year. So the first quarter, what he's saying is that the first quarter, let's not open a ride that's ready and we won't get anybody in the park because we're going to delay it another 3 months.
No.
I'm saying let's open the park and let's open the ride and it still be what people want to do in January because a lot of APs will be blacked out anyway, won't they?
Not only will they delay it,
out?
but they will also increase the price of Lightning Lane. So this is about D23 though, this episode.
Yeah. All right, so we're on the record for our predictions. And what else for Magic Kingdom? I think we're going to get something about the railroad opening back up. A date, a video.
I think the railroad would be well on the way to being open by the time D23 happens anyway. I don't think that needs an announcement.
Maybe not. But the biggest,
like, the wall's up, everything's up. They've just all they've got to do is just lay the sleepers, and the track's already there. They've just got to put the sleepers down. It's like a 2-week job, and then they've already been testing it. They know it works, so it's really not going to take much time.
But Disney time, what's a 2-week job in Disney time though?
No, I'm saying a 2-week Disney job. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because anybody else, it would be done in a weekend.
It would be
like
done
Universal.
already.
Yeah, it would be done already. But if they got to what I've just described, that they've just got to lay the sleepers and the gravel, I'm saying that would take most people, most crews from any other park a weekend, not 2-3 weeks.
What else are we getting prediction-wise?
I think
for Magic Kingdom?
the biggest hype announcement there's going to be is the closing date of Splash Mountain.
If that happens,
I don't think they'll want to. They won't want people booing, because they will get people booing, even if it's.
Yeah, but I would also.
I don't think they're going to mention. I don't think Splash Mountain will get mentioned in any way, shape, or form. I think they'll talk and they'll preview something from Tiana.
I'm telling you,
because they're going to gloss over.
I just love how Tommy is shitting on everyone's idea.
I'm telling you,
Well, I'm just saying, why, like Chapek, all of them don't want, like, all of these, you've got the hardcore of the hardcore. You've got the real Save Splash Mountain, Splash Mountain guys going to the thing, spending money going. Anything they say about Splash involving it closing or a date's going to close, they're going to get people booing. That's going to be on the live stream. That's going to be.
They're not going to do it.
They're going to. They need to walk as far away from Splash Mountain as they can, and they know they've got to do that.
What else you got, Ryan?
For Magic Kingdom, let me see. I want them to. Oh, let's rephrase that. They're going to announce an expansion of the rivers, like the northern rivers of America, kind of like where Disneyland put Galaxy's Edge. But
I hate you. Damn it, that's on my list.
Magic Kingdom, we're going to put Fantasy Springs there from Tokyo Disney Sea.
You took my list. You stole from me. You hacked me.
Because we all know how poorly the expansion, the new Fantasyland went. Not very great in terms of capacity. They didn't add that much capacity to the park. This will add capacity, and it will get people the F out of the way too, like Galaxy's Edge did in Disneyland.
Can I tell you mine then? Because it's along them lines, but a different direction.
Let me just piggyback off of that, because I think we'll get an opening date for Enchanted Tales of Belle, which has been closed for eons now.
It hasn't opened yet.
Fantasyland. No, it's still closed.
I think what is it? I don't even know what it is.
It's a pretty elaborate meet and greet.
It's like a storytelling meet and greet. It's cute, I guess. If you guys,
we've already forgotten about it.
It's more than a meet and greet. Like actually meet Belle.
I think we'll get a date for that, and I think we will get the announcement they are filling in all of or part of the Rivers of America to expand in that area of the park, like Ryan stole from me, because that was my idea. I think Disney's had plans to fill in Rivers of America for like 15 years now, and I think they're finally going to pull the trigger on that.
They went from 3 river boats to 1. They're going to run out of them. So
yeah,
as much as I like the idea, because you know me, I love a expansion and anything like anything scorched earth. I love, like knocking down CM parking spaces, things like that. I love the idea of, like, I'm all for that. However, I think a slight easier layup for an expansion pad would be that with the Tiana one. So obviously they can release more details with Tiana. There's some infrastructure stuff related to what they can add to Splash Mountain, i.e. maybe changing a restaurant theme or something like that. But I think that whole area of the park will act as a gateway possibly to expand to the area that is actually allocated for expansion, which goes down. If you think of where Jungle Cruise is, the strip of land that goes down behind Jungle Cruise south down towards
God damn it,
Showcase Lagoon, that's the most viable area to actually expand. That's allocated in terms of that's zoned for commercial for expansion. Just like they notched out a little bit of extra land on the opposite side, on the east side, the southwest corner of the park. You got to remember they've also been doing a lot of World Drive. They're rejigging World Drive, and we should see stuff like that. So I think that whole area of the Magic Kingdom and subsequently World Showcase Lagoon is earmarked for expansion, and
I think that's important, Tommy. Expand. I know, Jay, you've got something on this too, but that's important, Tommy, that Jungle Cruise area expansion, because with Ryan and I's idea, if they do that part, that makes the bottleneck at Small World Peter Pan much, much worse. And it's already hell getting through there. Your idea, Tommy, kind of alleviates that problem a little bit. I started a very long time ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did my expansion pads theme thread for all of the Disney World parks, and I didn't get around to finishing Magic Kingdom, but I've been working on it for a while, and I will drop it at some point. It's pretty much done, but you'll see that there's this whole massive area you can basically fit in that southern sort of expansion pad. You can fit an e-ticket show build on the size of Rise of Resistance and still have room. You could basically build like Tiana's restaurant in that whole area. You can build something. Oh, what's that theatre show that's in I think Shanghai next near Toronto? I can't remember what it is, but I've got it. But basically, they've got room for like 3 or 4 things in there. Easy. It's about 8 acres, and it still fits in with the railroad and everything else. So I can see that being something that they can do. Not saying that they won't eventually fill in Rivers of America, but I just think as a slightly easier layup for expansion, that's something they could announce now that piggybacks off the back of Tiana.
They just had the railroad closed.
What do you have for Magic Kingdom?
Damn.
They just had the railroad, by the way, just let me say this. They just had the railroad closed for like 3-4 years, and we're going to close it again for another like 6 years for this.
No, because this is the other side of the railroad. It doesn't affect the railroad. I promise you.
I'm sure the current Tiana will not, because they could just cancel the stop in Frontierland and say just stop in Fantasyland and Main Street. I'm sure they'll do that, but if they do more, I don't know.
No, it doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't affect that. Like, it would be built outside of the railroad, and then you just got to figure out a way of crossing the railroad. So that's not really a big problem.
Yeah, sort of similar
Jay,
to what
they're
doing. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was essentially saying the same thing that Tommy did, that same expansion plot that's been over there for years for like Fire Mountain and whatever they were going to do with Atlantis. But I figured that would be like Encanto. Like, I figured that would be Encanto. Like, if we don't get Encanto in Epcot, we're going to get Encanto expansion in Magic Kingdom. Like, I just see that happening. I definitely see one of those two parks getting it. But it can go either way. But essentially the same thing that Tommy was saying, but mostly for Encanto.
Okay. All right. Anything else for Magic Kingdom area?
Oh, well, I guess just to renege on something I said before, I don't think we're going to get anything going in Stitch's building. They just converted the Merchant of Venus into basically a relaxed area with a bunch of tables.
I've got one to ask
doing nothing.
You lot, and it's more of a question because I really couldn't give any fucks about this. Because as I've said multiple times, they're all the same to me. But do you think we'll get we've come to the end of the 50th celebration, so that's the end of Enchantment. Here's our new show. Here's our Happy Ever After Redux, blah, blah, blah. Do you think we'll get any announcement of a replacement show or a return show or anything like that? Because bear in mind, they still haven't finished building all their fireworks things, so they could lean into and go, oh, we've got new fireworks locations, blah blah blah. And
you're not going to get a new show, but you might get Happily Ever After coming back, which I hope is.
I say we get Paint the Night as well.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
I think that's definite.
I think. I mean, I know for you. Go ahead.
Or we just get Main Street Electrical Parade again.
Oh no.
For the last time.
No. What the hell? Okay.
Bank account.
No, I don't. I definitely think that they should have Happily Ever After sitting on some flash drive ready to go soon as possible. Soon as possible. But I don't see us ever getting a nighttime parade ever again because of just how damn crowded it is at nighttime for those fireworks.
Yeah.
Like you can't stand. It's ass to ankles.
Even
there.
during
Like,
the last night or the night before, whenever the first Mickey's Not So Scary, the parade was just nuts, and that's a event night that they control the attendance. So
quote unquote limited capacity.
yeah.
It's a question for you, and like it's really just a thought that crossed my mind. Is there any opportunity in terms of the hub and the general area of somehow expanding? Because they've already already done that with Enchantment, but is there any possibilities to do some sort of expansion of the show to try and spread people out, like i.e. projection mapping on other parts, blah blah blah?
I think that's the key
scope
is
for that? Because
to
like
make
I said,
it more attractive behind the castle or over in Fantasyland, those things,
because those extra fireworks sites would serve some of that, because then you'll see.
But it's not going to matter, because every person, again, remember, everything Disney does is for Instagram first. And people want that shot of the fireworks with the castle from the front.
It's ingrained in people.
Yeah.
But it's like, can you stand looking at the arse end of the castle when the show's on, or can you not even go there?
Not really.
No.
I mean,
because it seems mad to me.
They see the fireworks
from the side.
Right.
You definitely can see from like the side, but they don't let anybody near there unless they get new fireworks. They're not going to. They shoot off so close from the castle, so you can't have people in like the side. I don't know what to do with that damn thing. I really don't.
I'm just thinking, if they do fill in Rivers of America, like you said, that's a whole standing area right there. Yeah, if they fill it in like you say, you want them to, like the Tom Sawyer Island, all that. That's a whole area right there. So
yeah, but people still want that shot for Instagram and TikTok of the castle.
Yeah. One more thing, I have them taking out Tomorrowland Speedway finally, and then replacing that with like an indoor outdoor dark ride, and they're gonna put
based on what?
What's that Pixar movie coming out with the Strange
Lightyear
Worlds or something?
Strange World.
Yeah, Strange World. It'll be based on that, and then we'll get a jetpacks, just like from Shanghai Spinner, and that's going to take down. They're going to take down Astro Orbiter, and put a new ornament on top.
Okay.
You know what I'd actually seriously like to do once they're done with Tron. I would strip out Space Mountain, and I would put. Have you guys seen Fly, the ride that's in Fantasia Land in Germany?
Movie?
No, it's like a flying coaster, but the way it's a Vekoma flying coaster, but you sit in it like an upright seat, and then it turns you round. So I would do a flying through space on your belly ride, like, and it's relatively it's a really tiny footprint ride, and I think it's quite good for age and size and stuff like that.
Okay, so
I would do that.
So then they're gonna bring back the Skyway in the form of a giga coaster that goes over higher than the castle.
My suggestion was serious. Ryan's just going into the realms of ridiculousness.
Let's move on to Animal Kingdom. Do we see any predictions coming? Or do we have any predictions coming for announcements for Animal Kingdom? I'm sorry. Let's do Hollywood Studios first. Hollywood first.
All right. I got nothing. I got nothing. For
nothing.
I have nothing really for, except for, of course, Fantasmic, the date, and the
yeah.
Shot in the dark. I put a Blade attraction in Hollywood Studios. There's no Blade.
Tommy, I have been doing these shows with Ryan now for a decade, and I can tell you, in the last 10 years. This is totally on brand for Ryan. We've been doing D23 predictions for 10 years now. It's totally on brand for Ryan.
I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I'm just disappointed in him.
We gotta attract the older kids.
Right, look, seriously. If this was me, I would go, right, I would lean into Pixar. I would knock through. I would complete the circle from Racing Academy round to Toy Story Land, that whole area, the cast member parking. Please write in your hate mail to chris.wakefield@idon'tgiveafuck.com.
God damn.
Oh, we can't. You can't take that. That's where we park. I don't want to walk a whole 3 extra minutes. But my point is, there's a whole bunch of land. There's about 8 to 9, maybe even 10 acres that would complete the circle. It would make wayfinding better in Hollywood studios. They could lean into Pixar. They could build any Pixar thing they want. There's room for about 6 or 7 rides, including an E-ticket, D-ticket, C-ticket, whatever you want
ticket. Lot of space.
There's lots of space there. All it means is that some executive car parking in the multi-story would just have to get moved out a little bit further.
Yeah, if anything,
So is that an official prediction, Tommy?
I want the area.
Is that a prediction?
If they're desperate in the next couple of years, they should do it. I don't think they will because they're idiots. But yes, they do need to basically, and they need to announce a roster of ride announcements for the 4 parks, really, for one a year for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
I've got one bold prediction, an actual prediction for Hollywood Studios. Besides us getting a date for Fantasmic, it's maybe some new updates and stuff like that. I think we are going to get a new Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I think we'll get a huge update to it. I think we'll get a huge update to it all around. I know it's the last thing Jim Henson worked on. I know his son finished it. Brian Henson finished it. I think we're going to get something huge with Muppet Vision.
The new Muppets suck. They're not funny.
And I agree. I don't like them either. I love Muppet Vision. It's a must do. I do that before I do Rise. Most times I go to Hollywood Studios, but I think we get something new and big over in that area of the park with Muppets.
I think, say what you want about JPEG, he does seem to have some sort of a soft spot for Muppets. Like, he's definitely not a Muppets hater. And they have tested lots of different stuff, haven't they?
Yeah.
So
imagine
I can't,
a world where Tom Staggs is currently the CEO of Disney. Like,
oh
it
my
should
God,
have
we'd
been
be in heaven.
I don't know. I do know just from hearing through the grapevine, they can never get rid of Muppet Vision without replacing it with another substantial Muppet attraction on Walt Disney World property. But
I would love a Muppets dark ride.
Honestly, the Muppets Great Movie Ride.
Like, don't get me wrong. Every time I go to Hollywood Studios, I go to Muppets, and I love it, and I enjoy it, and I never get sick of it. But I would love a sit on, basically what they did with Secret Life of Pets out in Hollywood.
Oh my God!
I'd love that for Muppets.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely love that.
Well,
and you can get you would get massive capacity on something like that.
Didn't they have
like
a
dark
concept?
ride Omni Mover? That would be amazing.
They had a concept originally for like the Mama Melrose space for a dark ride themed to the Muppets Great Movie Ride, and the Muppets would be in the scenes of the movies instead of the human actors.
And it's weird too because we already have like the whole infrastructure of Muppet Studios. It just never became Muppet Studios, so you totally can.
And they painted over half of it.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, they
got rid of the babies, the Muppet Babies room in the store.
Yeah.
That was the best.
And the store
does anyone want to make a prediction on a Galaxy's Edge expansion or an Aerosmith update or replacement?
I will say I did have something on GE, and it's nothing substantial. I just think DJ Rex is going to drop his next mixtape. That's all. That's it. I heard that was coming, that there was going to be a new one, because I've already been hearing the new songs a little bit in August, so I think we finally going to get his new mixtape finna drop. It's finna drop. It's finna be fire. Straight fire, straight platinum. But other than that, I don't know.
Pick an IP out of a hat and just run with it. Do anything to rock and roll.
I think Indiana Jones is going to close. I think Indiana Jones is going to close and be replaced with an actual indie ride. If that doesn't happen now, I think that might be announced next D23.
Is there space there for that?
Talking indie before we get to Animal Kingdom.
It doesn't matter.
There is space, but basically that whole section behind Galaxy's Edge, behind Star Tours, like that section of the car park, if you was to draw a straight line down from the front of the park, you've got quite a bit of expansion pad there. Like, but you would take some of the car park, but then do they ever really fill the car park now? I don't think they do they? Not really. It's always about 30% empty.
Well, Tommy, you're going to get in trouble for this because that's actually cast parking.
Oh, Crimea River. I mean, look, I've already explained this. This is what Universal do. They just build a parking garage. That means instead of spending 25 acres on a parking lot, you spend 4 acres and you have the same amount of spaces. It's not rocket science, guys. Come on. But yeah, that's that kind of whole area.
Any other predictions for Hollywood studios? Any other predictions?
What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say.
Toy Story,
Rock and Roller Coaster,
Pixar, Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, I think we might give the opening date for that stupid barbecue restaurant or whatever the hell is going to be.
Woody's Roundup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not far off from being done now, is it? They're just doing the literal front in the entrance part, so that'll be done. I mean, they could go right. Aerosmith is going down. We're going to replace it with whatever related to Pixar. Then you've got a whole Pixar. You can start joining the dots. But at the moment, they can't afford to have Aerosmith down because that park has got no rides. So whatever they decide to do that's not a net gain of rides, they're fucked with that park.
Make it incredible.
And that's amazing to say after one of the most expensive expansions in history in Galaxy's Edge. We're still saying there aren't enough rides because instead of building new rides, they close rides and replace them, like with Mickey's Runaway Railway. Because
whatever way you come down on Genie Plus and all the rest of it, Genie Plus has very much highlighted the fact, what we've all been saying for a while, that they don't have enough rides. They don't have enough inventory for people to go on stuff. There's not enough stuff for people to do. Like yesterday, I sent it to Len, actually. Some Thrill Data had done a comparison. Rise of the Resistance, right? So in California, it was a 60-minute wait. Anybody guess how many minute wait it was in studios?
120.
Oh, God.
260.
Yes, it was 260. Did you cheat or did you guess?
Oh, no, I saw that last night right before I went to bed, G.
Yeah.
It was 260?
Yeah.
It was
so
2 goddamn 60.
It's like four times as long, right? So what does that tell you about, like, for me, I tweeted about it, but basically that says to me they need 3 or 4 times as many things to do to get that down to an acceptable level, even acceptable for people to go, yeah, you know what, I'll drop $15 on a Lightning Lane. But right now they haven't even got the capacity to do that because it's such a unreliable ride.
Yeah,
and
they need more rides. Like right now, Alien Swirling Saucers is a 50-minute wait and Millennium Falcon is a 60-minute wait. That should not happen.
So, I mean, this is upsetting all the CMs with this suggestion, said it's parking behind. Ideal world, you would just put something behind the Rise show building and expand out Galaxy's Edge. Do like some sort of coaster based thing, like, is it dynamic attractions that do that false floor ride? They could just do what do they call them? Racers. The floaty rockets that they all drive around in. What do they call them? Speed racers?
You mean pod racers?
Yeah, the pod. What do they call them?
In Star Wars?
Yeah, in Star Wars. What are these things called?
Yes, they're pod racers.
Pod racers.
Come on.
Right. So so basically what I'm saying is those pod racers, like dynamic attractions, have that ride, that rejected Mario Kart ride with like the false floor. So there's a roller coaster track underneath and then like a false floor thing. Basically what they're going to do with Donkey Kong, but they can have like racing speed racers and have like areas where they branch off and stuff like that. That's what I would put in there. If you add something like that, A, you can get really high capacity, and B, you are peeling away some of that crowd from Rise of the Resistance. That to me is a no-brainer. But
way back, they had the rumor about the Endor speed bike coaster.
Oh yeah, the speed bike ones. Yeah,
They had a coaster going around Echo Lake, taking out the Frozen building, Frozen sing-along, and ABC commissary.
Just to give you a bit of context of how much room they've got behind that Rise building, they've got enough room to fit something the size of what's the Cars attraction in DCA?
Radiator Springs Raceway.
Yeah, that whole thing, the inside and outside portion. They've got
racers.
Racers, yes.
Cars races. They've got that. They've got room for something that big out the back, and still have room for a multi-story car park for staff.
Right.
Just to be clear.
At the risk of infringing on the Marty Called podcast and going into armchair Imagineering, I want to move us along And let's now finally go to Animal Kingdom and our D23 predictions for Animal Kingdom. I'm going to call it right now, put the stake in the ground. They're going to pull the trigger on Zootopia.
Where, though?
In Orlando, somewhere.
No, I don't. No, because there's two places it can go. There's the.
I would not be surprised if we saw Dinosaur get the send off and that be transformed into Zootopia. My only hesitation is that would take out some capacity for the park that really needs capacity, like the rest of the parks. But I think they're going to bite the bullet and do it.
Currently, I don't think they should get rid of it, just given off the fact that you're knocking out, 2 attractions right there, and the Zootopia land has only been announced to just have one big...
What 2 attractions?
Trackless ride.
Triceratops spin and Boneyard.
Yeah.
So
Well, the
you're going to
Boneyard
need
was
something
closed
to
for a long
match
time
that.
anyways.
You're going to need something to match that. Like you're going to.
Well, they'll put in more
more
gift shops. They'll put in gift shops. That adds capacity,
Show.
right?
A bird show.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to say that we'll get something that's quite quick and easy that takes Dinoland and Primeval World Space out. I don't think we'll get Zootopia yet. I'm not saying we'll never get it. I'm not saying we'll get Zootopia yet because of the exclusivity arrangement with whatever park it's currently being built for. Is it Shanghai or a different one?
Shanghai.
So I'm not sure that is a possibility. I personally think if we go with that expansion pad in Magic Kingdom, it could be a candidate for a little bit of a land there.
Wait, question. How long when do the exclusivity contracts start? The day the thing opens or from the jump when they start building it? Like, how does that normally go?
From when it's open, because then they've got exclusive access.
Okay, so what? It's like how long did it take before they wanted to do
I think it was 5 years, wasn't it? Because
5 years? Okay,
Tron wasn't meant to open until the end of 2021.
Well, damn, Tommy, we going by their timetable. Shit, they might announce it. They take forever to open up something.
Yeah, but not
5 years.
They're not going to announce 7 years out.
No, it's not even open yet.
That's what I'm saying. It's right. Not 6, 7 years out is a bit excessive. I'm not saying we won't get a Zootopia. I'm just saying I don't think it's next. The quick fix, cheap option would be do something with Dinosaur later. Definitely need to go, but lean into turning that whole section into a Dory land, make the stage show the Marine Institute and put a ride in that and put a double up on Crush's Coaster in the space that Primeval World used to take up. There's room for it. And that will get them about 1,700 capacity, family coaster, cheaper off the shelf, nothing too fancy. They could potentially do something with Dinosaur at a later date if they wanted to. But something that doesn't take away capacity from the park because there's not a lot in the park, is there? And you take Dinosaur out, that's it, you're screwed. You've got to put something in, you've got to add a ride to take a ride out in that park.
I can definitely see them. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Ryan.
Okay, so here's what I got. Dino Land as a whole is gone, getting replaced by Indiana Jones.
Oh,
hell yeah, a new Indiana Jones movie coming out.
Okay, pause there. When was the last time Disney opened a ride based off an IP before the movie came out?
It's not going to be before. This is
or at the same time.
Announced now, opening in 2025, 2026.
When's the movie come out?
The movie is already filmed, partially.
When's it come out?
The movie?
Yeah.
Late summer next year, I think.
They'll probably have more details at D23.
What about, just throwing this one out there, if we get a cheap, like I said, the cheap kind of low-hanging fruit replacement for that Dinoland area, and then they go for a more, again, non-tangible blue sky pitch of just generally expanding Animal Kingdom. Like Rhodey hinted at it when he left the DAC 2. I've been referring to it as the DAC 2 expansion. There's that 30 acres of land. There's all different options. I've done a bit of armchair imagineering of the kind of thing that could go there. But there's room for basically a 2-phase expansion, 2 massive phases. What if they went a bit more blue sky and a little bit less? Okay, we've definitely got this idea, because they haven't got the people, so they haven't got the ideas. So we know they're not working on the ideas, but they might kind of pre-announce going, well, we're going to expand Animal Kingdom, and that would be a big exciting thing. Like, I want to
go back to Ryan's actual prediction. Ryan, your actual prediction. So what for Indiana Jones do you see? Is it the copy of the coaster or the ride from California, or what? What are you seeing?
Yes. So Indiana Jones Adventure from California, straight off the shelf. Because it's the same ride layout, easy. Give something easy for the Imagineers. A roller coaster, and that's kind of all you need for Indiana Jones.
The one from Paris?
Similar. Could be similar.
Which I've been on that. It's a short coaster, but it's not terrible. It's not as bad as Primeval World was.
Doesn't have to be crazy. Doesn't have to go upside down.
So what, do they build 2 of them? Because it ain't going to have capacity for 1, are they?
It could be long. What was I going to say? The Disney diehards get butthurt about exposed steel, so you're going to make it look like wooden. But yeah.
Well, the one in Paris is a excavator themed. I think it's an excavator themed. I forget. It's been a while since.
Yeah, through like a temple.
Yeah.
Wasn't that an original coaster thing, like excavator sort of? Wasn't that original?
That was one of the ideas.
So that was my other proposal, is keeping Dinosaur and Dinoland there, and putting a wooden hybrid coaster.
I want your prediction, not your armchair Imagineering. I want your prediction.
Well, I got 2 options. Those are 2 predictions. Okay. Whichever one Bob approves of. And then if that goes down, Zootopia goes behind Asia, where the train is, and you would kind of have to put the entrance to the land in between Africa and Asia in that pathway. And then an expansion of Avatar, because you got Avatar 2 and 3 coming out back-to-back years.
Oh, God.
You got to expand Pandora. So I would say it would be cool if they actually expanded the river journey, because this new Avatar one coming out is heavily water. Water is everywhere.
The shape of water.
Yeah.
Avatar: The Shape of Water.
So it would be cool if they expanded that. Maybe, make it go up a lift and go down a hill or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah, whoa. Is this a prediction from you that they're actually going to close the ride and expand it?
No, that's doubtful. The easier thing would be to close Rainforest Cafe and build a new ride there.
They've got space for I think it's, I can't remember what. Again, this is one of my expansion ones. They've got space behind Flight of Passage for a massive ride for an e-ticket. There's already space right next to it.
Yeah, it's cleared.
But they don't need to close anything. It's just there. It's like 8 acres or something ridiculous.
Yeah, do it.
I think it was like Big Thunder Mountain or something like that can fit behind that space. That's how big the space is.
People who've been listening for a while know I'm the biggest Avatar hater out there. The movie is stupid. It's Dances with Wolves. It's been done 1,000 times before. But every time I go to a movie theater and see that preview and that trailer for the second movie in theaters, I'm like, oh my God, this looks unbelievable. I am going to pay to see that movie on IMAX. Real IMAX, too.
Yeah, it's going to be. You don't underestimate Jim Cameron, do you?
Visually, it is stunning. Stunning.
It's 5 acres next to Pandora. It's a massive space.
Here's one thing that continuously rates low, and Disney has never been fully happy with. Kali River Rapids. Anything happening over there, do you think?
Eliminate it.
I mean, the one thing that we did here way back in the day was that they were going to do a Jungle Book, and for some reason they still haven't done the Jungle Book sequel, even though that movie did really good considering what it was. So I was thinking they could have done that, but I don't think they're going to pull the plug on that because they haven't pulled the plug on the sequel.
as I said,
Right.
the whole expansion pad is like 31 acres, right? So they could do the phase 1 expansion of whatever, whether it be Zootopia, whether it be whatever, in like the northern half, like i.e. where you get off the train station, Rafiki's or whatever it's called, and then the southern half, the expansion pad. What they could probably do eventually, they wanted to get rid of Cali River. They could just expand through from the southern end of that. So they could either replace or something into that and build something bigger and just get rid of Cali River Rapids once they've built a few extra things in the park. So they've got a few different options.
Like logistically, they need that road to go into the middle of the park to get to like Yak and Yeti and those restaurants.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with the animals in Maharaja Jungle Trek? Just like keep them else somewhere else.
No, but what I'm saying is there's a bit of space. You know, they can cut. Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. Can't remember what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought.
Any other predictions for Animal Kingdom?
Well, since you're asking, I remember Tommy said something about Blue Sky and how dinosaur might be changing. You know, I think there's one big franchise that could, you know, help dinosaur out, help out Dino Lane a little bit, and I'm calling it now. I don't think it's going to be major, but Ice Age is going to be put into Dino Land some way, somehow.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm letting my nuts hang on that one.
Do you mean like a ride or do you mean like a toy in the gift shop next door?
A ride.
Okay.
That's where the next roller coaster is going to be.
Wow.
Ooh. But didn't they lose the rights to the squirrel?
I mean, it's both. I mean, they're both extinct animals. It just makes sense. I honestly, and they keep making those damn movies even after they bought them. So yeah, no, I think Ice Age is going to. I think Ice Age is going to be.
Have they announced any Ice Age films or reboots or anything that brings the franchise back into the forefront?
The last one that they did was the one that they did on Disney Plus. I don't know if they've announced if they're going to do another one yet. We might see it on Disney Plus Day. But hey, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know, Tommy. But I feel like it's going to happen. Is it
at the top of the pile of fresh?
No, but
stuff?
It's low hanging fruit with a bunch of IP characters on that you can put some stupid flat ride on, and that you can sell toys of. It's better than just having a generic Triceratops spinner. It's just something you can sell toys. It's probably going to fit into one area.
What I'm getting at, does that excite Bob Chapek, or does that go? No,
I see it as more of a seat fill. I see it more as a seat filler. Like it's just filling a space. It's nothing like major substantial or anything like that. It's just something to sell toys, and that's about the size of a fair flat ride.
But we can all, none of us will disagree on the fact that that's exactly what Disney needs. But I think we can probably all agree that that's definitely not what Disney end up building most of the time, even though they need that stuff. They need that D ticket, C ticket stuff that fills seats but isn't like super exciting and Instagrammable. But that's the stuff that they don't seem to want to build.
All right.
Well, they have a spin-off film. They have a spin-off Ice Age coming out in January. It has a release date. January 28th.
Hey.
And they announced that there is officially a 6th Ice Age film in development.
So what will they do? Will they preempt that by putting something into a theme park by announcing it now, or will they wait and see until they've got a massive hit on their hands and then delay and then I'm and R for like 12 months before they maybe build something, and then spend 4 or 5 years building it? Because that's exactly what they've done with Encanto.
There's been 6 movies. This is going to be the second one that they made, and that's like the only thing that they're getting out of it. I think they're going to.
It's established already.
Yeah, it's established already. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if they just buy one of the flat rides that was made over at that Malaysian park and just pay them to get it. Since wasn't Primal World just off the shelf that they bought from somebody?
Yeah,
so they could just do the same thing and do the same thing. I've got to
move us on because we have a lot more to get to. We haven't even left Orlando yet. Any other miscellaneous predictions for Walt Disney World, Disney Springs, the water parks? Any other predictions?
New ride at what is it? New ride over at Blizzard Beach. That's it.
A new coaster,
a lot of activity over in the
water
area.
Coaster or slide or
I don't Wakefield something.
Okay.
Another novelty / themed restaurant of some kind. Where, I don't know. Maybe they'll decide. Maybe they'll decide to finally build that expansion for the restaurant in Galaxy's Edge, based on what Star Cruiser's doing. Like, but another one, something along that lines. So they will announce the barbecue place, and then they'll be like, oh, and we're going to do this and this, and it'll be something like that.
Likely another restaurant operated by the
Patina.
What is that? Yeah, probably that.
Yeah. So it's super expensive, and like the video I watched earlier, it was like spend time doing an Earth like for a space restaurant, and then put really cheesy cartoon astronauts and completely kill any kind of realism. That kind of shit.
Yeah, Chapek would love it.
All right, let's fly across the coast, across the country, and go to Disneyland, where in 2019 we had a lot with D23 when it came to Avengers Campus and Marvel Land. Any predictions for Disneyland Park or Disney's California Adventure?
Yes. The Quinjet ride will be announced, and it will be...
Wow.
It will be a flight of passage. Because then they can replicate it at Paris, they can replicate it at... Is it Hong Kong? It's done. It's easy. It's done.
They'll forget to change the movie and it'll actually be Avatar. You'll walk into an Avengers land, but it'll be the Avatar movie because they forgot to switch the button over to Avengers.
It would be so much better than what they
How
get
do you
now.
think they're going to test? How do you think they're going to test it?
I like.
I'm not even
passage.
joking. How do you think they will test that ride? They will get on a plane. They will go to Florida when the park closes at 10 or whatever it is, and they will program.
10.
They will load. I don't know.
Can it close at like 6, dude?
It might close at 6, but have you ever got on Flight Passage last minute? You're in like a 4-hour line.
You know what? He got a point.
It's
But
better
anyway,
than,
so
it's
when the
better than
people-
Millennium Falcon, I'll say that. For the ride system, I'd rather have that than the Millennium Falcon ride system.
But anyway, my point is they jump on a plane, and as soon as the last person does their last Flight of Passage ride, they load up the hard disk with the ride profile and the graphics for the Avengers e-ticket, and then they test the experience in real life. Job done.
So Tommy is saying the Quinjet, the on again, off again, on again, off again Quinjet e-ticket will be coming to Avengers
it's been
Campus.
on. It's never been off. It's just when Chad died, it obviously created a problem for him.
Yeah,
Biding its time.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say this. We will get a Star Cruiser-like hotel in Southern California, but it will be Avengers themed.
Okay.
What gives you this notion?
Where will that go, though?
I'm just saying.
Where will that go? You say Southern California. Where does that go?
Somewhere in the Disneyland Resort. They have the Disneyland Forward plan out there. They
haven't got. Let's be realistic about it. And it's not me criticizing you. This is criticizing all the people that are like, "Oh my god, we're going to get more details of Disneyland Forward." You know what they got? They got caught essentially doing some corrupt fucking shit with Anaheim City Council. They got caught with their pants down. They got caught. They're not as far ahead with the Disneyland Forward of convincing Anaheim City Council to like reallocate that land where they are.
Yes, Tommy, but they still have land that they can use.
Why don't they just
Where's this land then?
parking lot?
This is supposed to be a fun exercise, Tommy, where we just throw out ideas and it's supposed to be fun. This is not serious. We're not putting money on the line.
The parking lot. Didn't they just tear up that one?
You don't put money on the line for anything. You still ain't paid your bet yet.
My God Almighty! Jesus. What else do we have for Disneyland predictions?
Okay, I'll go.
Space Mountain? No.
Where, Ryan? Where are they going to put it? Where's it going to go? Huh? Where?
I think we're going to see Tiana's restaurant be announced. I think that's something that's definitely going to happen. And I think they might just kill all of Critter Country. Since Winnie the Pooh just sucks dick. Just kill it. Just kill it. Like, Jesus Christ, it's fucking garbage. Just kill it. Jesus, like how's it worse than the Country Bear Jamboree? Like, how do you make it worse than than a show? Like, oh my god!
So do you think they'll do more of what they kind of did with when they announced Mickey and Minnie's, and then they basically killed a bunch of old basically sort of stuff that was seen better days,
yes,
and refreshed and revamped? Do you think they'll just do that?
Yes, they're just going to kill it
different spaces.
Yes, who cares about Critter Country at this point? It's 2022. Jesus, like it's gone. It's time for it to leave. And Winnie the Pooh didn't even help it. Oh my God, no, that's gone. I think they're going to put Tiana's Restaurant either there, or they are going to just explicitly put it in over at. I think they might get rid of Cafe Orleans for it, maybe.
Well, and that restaurant, I think it's called the Hungry Bear, is a people eater. It's 2 stories. That eating space is
that's
big.
perfect. I think isn't like if I'm remembering the movie correctly, she has like 2 floors in her restaurant. With like a big grand area in the middle. So no, you can definitely do something. You can basically do, what's that called? We have it, Be Our Guest, but actually good with an attraction on the side of it. Like you could really go hard with that.
And if you get rid of a Winnie the Pooh ride, you win some more cred with the Chinese. So it's another win.
Wait, they don't like Pooh?
No, they don't, because
they banned Winnie the Pooh. They can't.
One person in China doesn't like Pooh. Everyone else doesn't.
Because they compared him to Pooh, and so like Pooh. That's why if you look, Shanghai Disneyland does not have any mentions of Winnie the Pooh.
Right? Yeah, you're right. What about? We've seen a lot of work going on at the Skyway. A lot of at least people walking around the Skyway at Disneyland Resort. Anything happening over there? Any predictions?
Oh, you mean over at? Did you say? You mean the people?
Not Skyway. I'm sorry.
The people mover.
Rocket Rods.
People mover. Rocket Rods. The people mover.
No, I definitely think
that would be hype if that reopened. That's awesome.
If they want to spend the money on actually retracking that thing, since I think it's OSHA or OLC, somebody is saying that it's not suitable for people to be riding on it, so they would have to retract the whole entire thing.
I did jokingly mock up like a Space Mountain redo where the track kind of went on part of the People Mover, like came in and out of the Space Mountain building, and then went all along like kind of part of the Rocket Rod route. It wasn't serious, but it was like
transfer.
Do what?
Like a subway transfer, like when it just moves.
No, like basically, you know that little the stretch where it goes in, and does it turn around, or there's a long stretch, kind of looks like a dick, like goes in, and it's got a bit in the middle. And then it kind of, if you turn right, you've got the Space Mountain, where the stage and all that was. Like basically, that would be like a launch, and then it would kind of almost top hat, and then cycle in to the top of Space Mountain. It was completely ridiculous. But
what?
I'll send you the picture. But yeah.
I see Lightyear coming to Space Mountain. I can totally see them putting in a flop movie into a beloved structure. Yikes. I totally see that happening. Like that's going to be a real thing. You know, I read it on this one's blog, and they said it was going to be. I believe it wholeheartedly. I really do. No, I think Tomorrowland's in for a major redo. I think we're going to finally get a new show inside of the Carousel Theater. They're going to finally do something with that.
I heard they were just going to tear that down.
See, people keep going back and forth between them actually adding a new show or tearing it down. I feel like it can go either way, but I feel like they don't. See, if this was Disney World, I would totally agree. But since people will literally fight tooth and nail over any little thing that leaves Disneyland, the park itself, like these are the same guys who just threw in Batuu like haphazardly into MGM, but they took so much time making this beautiful riverfront for just to be able to hide Galaxy's Edge from the rest of Disneyland. Disneyland gets treated way more better.
Tomorrowland looks 0% like it did in 1955. Nothing is the same. Literally nothing.
Hey, they're not going to. I do not think they're going to knock down that. But they're going to excuse like, oh my God, they're not.
There's a lot of Star Wars happening in Tomorrowland at Disneyland right now. Anyways, there's the stage show. You can meet Darth Vader in the old Carousel Theater. So half of their Star Wars stuff is in Tomorrowland, including Star Tours.
Yeah,
Trowbridge has been dangling the carrot that he's working on that part of the park, though, isn't he?
Yes.
Because he tweeted about, or he Instagrammed a picture of it the other day, didn't he? Around the time the People Mover rumor came out.
I know most of you guys won't know what this is, but I do. I think Helix will be coming back to Disneyland as well. But that's my last thing. And I don't know what else.
Why?
Trowbridge said he wanted to do it. I think they'll do it. They're big on entertainment there. They'll do it. It's fucking Disneyland. They get everything they fucking want.
I'll make
if
one
they
more
do
prediction.
If they do it, it'll be not to the same level for sure. There's no way.
I'll make one more D23 prediction for Disneyland. I think we will see the announcement that Disney Genie Plus and Lightning Lane and Genie and whatever else is coming to Disneyland Resort.
They already have it, right? I thought they did.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they had it back when I went in March,
bloody
dude.
hell. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Well, then it's a slam dunk then.
What about this? Was it the other day where they were like, "Oh, income's up, but the AP visitation's down," or some crap like that, weren't it? Wasn't there something about that in the earnings call?
Yeah, the most
unfavorable
profitable
attendance.
Unfavorable. Yes.
God damn.
So that says to me that should light a fire up their ass of, okay, right, we need to announce something. But I just think we're going to get a lot of desperate announcements. Like I said, I don't think we're going to get that many. Okay, when we know by what the language that they use, we know it's like a solid plan that they've actually been working on it versus
right.
We're going to like the Mary Poppins one where it's like, or the Splash Mountain initially. We knew they have been working on it since they announced it, but they definitely weren't ready to announce it because they definitely didn't have a solid plan when they did. So is it going to be one of them tangible ones or non-tangible kind of announcements?
Let's quickly go overseas for D23 and talk about any predictions that we see. Let's start with Paris, Tommy. And don't get me, does Paris have their own smaller D23 event each year or every other year?
Who knows? I don't know. It's like it's alien to me. Okay. I'm an outsider looking in on that, but as far as I know, they get super excited about the smallest of things. So they could well have their own low-key, small-scale D23 where they're like, oh, we're getting a new crepe stand or we're getting running water in the bathrooms, and everyone will go, yay! New
edible
stuff!
Food.
Edible food.
We can actually eat.
Semi-edible food. Like, yay! We've got our first restaurant in 8 years. Awesome! Because everyone's getting super excited about what they're building in terms of all they're really doing is doing what they did with Downtown Disney, where they kind of rebranded and then slowly built some new restaurants. But that's like out there, that's like major news. That's super exciting.
We need predictions for the overseas parks.
Never mind.
Do you want my actual serious ones for
any predictions? Yeah, any predictions.
I don't think Galaxy's Edge is dead, like they said. I do think we'll get a pivot for Mandalorian. I think they'll just set it in a different timeline. I think it's. And you
think that'll be announced at D23?
Yeah, I think they can do that. I think they've been holding off on it. There's expansion plots in that land, but I think that'll keep everyone happy if they're still back to square one with where they was like 4 years ago when they announced the whole thing by confirming that they're doing that. But yeah, I think we'll get rock solid announcement either way. There's all this talk about that land might be reused for Pandora, and then they're waiting to see how Pandora does. Blah blah blah. It's like no. Like, why would they wait? They made that mistake before with stuff. They've made that mistake so many times. So either they've got a slam dunk and they know it, or they don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't believe there's anything in between, to be honest with you.
What else do we have for overseas predictions? Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, I think that Tomorrowland might finally just turn into an Avengers campus. They've kind of been pussyfooting around with it for a while now. I think they might just pull the plug on it. It just kind of seems like it makes the most sense. They already have Nano Battle there and Iron Man Experience. I know that theirs is like mocked up as the Stark Expo. like a little sub land there, but I think they might actually just pull the plug.
They've got the space behind that, whatever that Iron Man thing is. The Flight of Passage building does fit that as well. So that's what I'm saying about the Quinjet ride, is that if they announce the Quinjet, they can basically, they've got the okay to announce it on all the parks because it fits in all the parks.
I don't know if they want to spend any money in Hong Kong, though. That park doesn't seem to do well.
Well, I think the only reason why it doesn't seem to do well is because they kind of gypped it from the get-go. Like, so much of Hong Kong was just half-assed. And
it's done a lot better since they redid it, isn't it?
Yeah. They've added a lot more rides to it. I thought that was good.
It turned a profit 1 year, and then I think it's back to losing every year.
Damn.
That's because of COVID, right?
Pandemic. Yeah.
Because they just started... You know, didn't the castle open like during the pandemic? You know, the redid.
It did, but also at the same time during the pandemic, I know Hong Kong. What was it? It had to do with them no longer being associated with London or something like that. But around the same time, they were going through a lot of political stir-ups because the Chinese government was finally going to take over that district. So Lord knows what's going on over there. It could be a lot. It could be a lot of other things that we don't even know about.
Well, it was England handed control of Hong Kong after
that was 1997.
99-year lease essentially back over.
No, that was in 1997. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just the Chinese flexing. Like they've just been with flexing Taiwan. The past couple of years with all of their territories. So
no, but now this podcast cannot be aired in China. You just said the T word.
And as I was going to just say the Tokyo, if we're struck out on Hong Kong, but Tokyo, I think we will get a version of Cosmic Rewind because I think I know that they can physically fit the equivalent to the energy building inside the rebuilt. What's that noise? They can fit the energy equivalent building in the rebuilt Danish swell or whatever it is, and then they can put the gravity building way back behind, so no one definitely will be able to see it. That's easily done. That's kind of a rumor that I've got wind of recently, that's what they're looking at. So I think that would be quite big for Tokyo. Obviously, they've announced that they're redoing it, but I think they could flesh out on those details.
I think we might finally start to see what exactly Fantasy Springs is outside of just concept art as well. I think we're going to figure out exactly what this is going to be. And I'm more so interested in what the Peter Pan thing is because they technically do have a Peter Pan's flight. My whole thing is, why are you making a second Peter Pan ride when you already have a Peter Pan ride? And what does that mean for what this Peter Pan ride is going to be? Because I think
So the question was, are they well into construction on that, by the way?
Oh, no. That thing's supposed to open like next year. They've been really going at that.
Okay. So they're at a point where they could announce stuff.
Like rock work is going up as we speak.
Okay.
I know from what I've seen, Tangled is going to be a boat ride, which makes sense. I don't know what they're going to do for Frozen, but they're really pushing that you're entering through Elsa's castle. You're going through there. And then also Pixie Hollow is going to be there too for some reason. They're finally pulling the plug on the Pixie Hollow land after all this time. But from what I've heard, it's supposed to be insane and riddled with animatronics because the Japanese, they don't tend to care for, or at least with full articulated faces, because the Japanese don't really mess with screen faces. They don't. It just doesn't go well for them. So
their Frozen Land is something completely different, unlike Paris, which is basically Maelstrom with a little bit extra. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We completely skipped over Hong Kong with their Frozen. They're getting a Frozen Land, and that's going to have I think we're going to finally see what their what the Oaken Land is, the Oaken Seven Dwarfs Mine Train overlay is going to look like. Inside part.
Is it actually? It's not a lift of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, is it? It's just the same design. All right.
I think it's actually a straight up. I think it's a lift of it, except different theming, obviously.
Oh, okay.
And they're
Because
supposed to get,
that doesn't really work for capacity, does it? So to me, it would make sense to rehash that. Because that actual plan was a dusted off the shelf plan, wasn't it? Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah,
I thought the concept art.
I'm going to tie it back in, Wakefield. I'm just saying that. So, what Paris and Hong Kong, their Frozen is supposed to be a direct copy of Frozen After, which I don't think is going to be a real thing. But apparently, Tokyo is supposed to get something way better than that, of course. So, but I don't know what ride system that's going to be. It's I can see it as being trackless. I can see it. I really don't know with that and whatever the Peter Pan thing is, because again, they already have a Peter Pan's ride, so I don't think it's going to be like,
because they've dropped hints through episodes of, is it like Imagineering Story or something like that? I've seen like models on TV shows. They've dropped hints of what it is, haven't they? They just haven't talked about what was actually going in there.
They have a model. I think it'll be themed to the live action Hook movie.
Ryan, I swear to fucking God.
Starring Robin Williams.
Ryan, I swear to fucking God. I let Blade slide, but
I found out recently, like, that was nearly going to be a musical, which I'm so glad it never made it as a musical. But I just found out a few days ago that that was at one point going to be a musical, which I'm really glad that they didn't.
It would have been beautiful.
You
have them fighting on wires.
I think their Toontown is going to get a Runaway Railway, but it's going to be something completely different. I think they are going to get a new ride with projection mapping there, but I don't exactly. Well, it could actually be trackless, because at first I know they don't mess with screen faces, so I don't think it's going to be exactly like that. But I can totally see them doing it, even though it is trackless, and Beauty and the Beast and Honey Hunt are just right there in those corners. They don't seem to mind that.
I forgot they have a Toontown. Is it more like our Disney World Magic Kingdoms, or was it more like
No,
Disneyland's?
It's more like Disneyland's. They actually got the full blown thing. It's actually, and theirs is a lot better because they have like their Goofy house is kind of like it's kind of like Toy Story Mania, where no pun intended, you're painting Goofy's walls. Like you're literally just you're painting Goofy's walls. They have a bunch of different stuff that we don't have.
Do you think it's a safe bet to say that we'll get a solid, not even a prediction, that's not the right word, a solid thing of what Zootopia is going to be for Shanghai? Do you think they'll just reveal that?
Yes.
Do you think anything else is coming in Shanghai other than that?
Did they get, I think they could get a huge scale roller coaster like Everest.
It's funny you say Everest, because I was thinking that they are going to announce that they're finally going to fix their problem animatronic, the giant crocodile over there. But other than that, I don't know what else you would do for them.
Yeah, I thought they had room, and they had listed in their expansion plans Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which is open over there now, and then Toy Story Land, which is open, and then the Everest was the footprint for that as well.
They've definitely got plots of land they can expand stuff, but I can't imagine it's way high up on their
Imagine they build Everest with a working Yeti and they fix that crocodile. That's amazing. That would be amazing.
Shanghai still needs a lot more. I wouldn't be surprised if, hell, this might sound crazy, if they get announced a second park, even though it's huge and it still has a lot of stuff going on over there.
Or if they get an actual Space Mountain.
Yeah, you know what? I can see them doing that and putting the same thing that Tokyo has and doing Tokyo's version and having that over in Shanghai if, after a while, the exclusivity thing drops.
Yeah. We have no structure now. Wakefield's gone.
No, all we've got left is you can talk about Marvel and Marvel and Star Wars predictions.
No, sorry, I'm here. I was reading ahead, and let's talk about Marvel and what else we see happening universe wide or company wide with Marvel. What predictions do we have? Not armchair Imagineering. I want predictions.
So Marvel, you would think like, oh, they just announced everything at San Diego Comic-Con, right? They don't have anything left to announce, right? Here's some things that they're going to talk about at D23, okay? Get ready. Fantastic Four we'll have a director and a producer, and it will be announced. And I think it will be Steven Spielberg.
Oh,
Whoa, whoa,
Wow.
whoa.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
It's the right move. It's the right move. It's like what Marvel's been doing. They've been giving these whole movies to the director, so give them the story, and they can take it their own way. And that's worked with Shang-Chi, Thor, everything. So that maybe the cast as well. I'm hoping the cast would be good. A Fantastic Four and a Doctor Doom. I don't know what actors are in the hat to play the characters, but I would hope by D23 they would know who they have. It starts filming next year, so Deadpool
it's not
3
Jim from The Office.
Yeah, hope yeah. Deadpool 3 will probably hopefully get a release date. And maybe Ryan Reynolds will be there, hopefully. I also hope I put Don Cheadle on my bingo card. I hope Don Cheadle shows up at D23. That'd be cool to promote Armor Wars D20 or Disney Plus series. I think they could also push the return of the cast from the Netflix Marvel shows. So Charlie Cox and Jessica Jones and all the Defenders. Maybe not Iron Fist.
But aren't some of them showing up in She-Hulk? So won't it be obvious?
Daredevil and Jessica Jones.
They just showed a glimpse.
I know, but I mean, it will be well established by then, because doesn't it start like next week or something? Or this week?
Oh yeah.
I would like for Luke Cage to be announced personally.
We already know Charlie. We saw Charlie Cox in No Way Home, so we know he's back. We'll have more confirmation. Then we'll have hopefully a Secret Wars director. They announced the Avengers Kang Dynasty director, and hopefully we'll get a Secret Wars director. Hopefully we'll know more about the Nova series, which is being made for Disney Plus.
Damn, I forgot all about Nova.
Then, you know how DC has Wonder Woman? Well, get ready, because Marvel has Wonder Man. Wonder Man is basically invincible and was created by something.
Is that the guy in the red suit?
He's like black and red.
Yo, my fucking god, not that guy.
That guy's basically invincible.
Is this a solid prediction, or is this like armchair Marveleering?
No, this is happening with Kevin Feige. It's anything is that he thinks of happens. So,
but they did like the lion's share of stuff for recently at the whatever it was. What was it? Like not Comic-Con, but something like that. Like, surely, how much have they got left that they could drop?
Dude, they have boatloads left. I'm telling you, I'm listing it right now. They also have
that they announced that they hadn't even touched on in that. So Ryan's right. There's a bunch of stuff and I think even an article said that they were going to announce a bunch of other stuff at D23.
They also have the Werewolf by Night Halloween special, which is coming out this Halloween, which they haven't talked about at all. That's going to be awesome, and it's going to have to do with a little bit of Blade, a little bit of the Black Knight from the end of Eternals.
Okay.
The Quantumania, maybe the teaser comes out for that at D23. Quantumania.
Do you think they will announce? And I say this more of an outsider point of view. Whatever the Harry Styles thing that was teased, will they announce a film for him? Or what?
He's in Guardians 3, right? I thought he was going to be in Guardians 3.
But just that though?
No, I know that Adam Warlock is going to be in Guardians 3.
Yeah, never mind, you're right.
But Harry Styles, they could, but maybe he will appear in Guardians 3, who knows. But I also have the Thunderbolts team will be officially revealed. The members of the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And then announcements and release dates for Shang-Chi 2, Doctor Strange 3, and Captain America 4.
That one I'm looking forward to, but
And Doctor Strange 3 should also be directed by Raimi as well.
Okay. No, I can see that.
And that's about all I got for MCU.
What do we have for Star Wars predictions?
Star Wars predictions right now, we're going to get a release date for the Bad Batch Season 2, just right out the gate. I can definitely see that happening. Mm-hmm. My personal prediction is maybe a season 2 of Book of Boba Fett. I know that one was kind of, some people liked it, some people didn't like it. It was definitely a dichotomy in that round. I definitely think is going to happen, just given the fact that the Bad Batch basically gave Boba Fett a sister, and also he's hinted at several times that he wants to do something with Mace Windu. So I definitely think that I don't think Mace Windu fell. He died. I don't think the champion of the Jedi died that easily. That's such an easy thing that you can do to get people in, to get Samuel L. Jackson back into Star Wars.
Yeah, bring Mace Windu back.
I definitely think that's going to happen. Another one that I can see happening, and this one's just something I can just get out of the way. Another Lego special. They're probably going to do a sequel to the Lego holiday special. They just did it's probably going to be a Thanksgiving special. They just did the vacation special, which got a shout out from the Bronto Raps, got a shout out in a song by Weird Al, who was in the special for some damn reason. So those seem to be doing good.
Do you reckon we get a Guardians?
He mentioned them?
I'm just randomly.
No, he mentions them. They're actually on. So they even go to Batu at one point in that. I think they go to Jabba's. Jabba's like he has a casino on Batu. It's weird, and they even have they're literally eating Ronto wraps, and it's that's the most we've gotten on screen for Batu ever. I think we're going to see. I definitely think we're going to see what Ahsoka is going to be about. If you're a Star Wars Rebels fan, listeners, or if you've ever seen Star Wars Rebels, you can kind of guess what Ahsoka's going to be. It's just going to be her trying to track. Because if you watched, it was season 3 of Mando when she showed up, with Rosario Dawson showed up as her. I definitely see her, because she mentioned Thrawn. She was looking for Thrawn. Yep. Thrawn is heavily tied to Rebels, and he's heavily tied into the guy who saved her from dying. So I definitely do see that being showed, and maybe even a teaser trailer.
Aren't we also a teaser trailer? Yeah, aren't we also getting a Thrawn series or a movie for Disney?
So I've been hearing stirrings of that. If that did happen, I would cream my coin. I would legit. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. I love Thrawn. I've read all the books. I really do fuck with Thrawn. But I don't know. I think that's depending on how Ahsoka does. I really do, and how he's a fan favorite. People love him, but this is going to be his first big live action thing. So I think that's really what's going to prove if they're going to give him a series. I think we're finally going to start seeing, what is that? What was that one? It was something. I think we're finally going to see some glimpses of the 2 anime series that they're going to do. I think it's the Ronin Jedi. We're going to finally see some of that drop. I think we're going to, because that was a spin-off from Visions, and they already announced that they were doing a Visions 2. So I do think that we are going to get a season 2 of Visions reveal at either at D23 or on Disney Plus Day. I know Disney Plus Day happens a week before, or either the week on D23. So I think we're definitely going to see some stuff there from that. Aside from that, I think that's pretty much it. A Fallen Order, TV series. I think that might happen.
Oh, Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, I definitely think that Cal is going to show up.
We should see more, hopefully, from the video game Jedi Survivor. I would also hope we see some content in the mix for older in the timeline previous.
Oh, you think we might see some
Darth Revan and get some KOTOR movies developed.
That's been doing relatively well. Oh, we might get a new Star Wars movie announced. I think it's time that there's a new Star Wars movie announced, but it probably wouldn't drop until 2024, 2025.
If they don't need any dark side or light side bullshit in this movie. I'm telling you, Disney. They don't. Just make it about a bounty hunter or something. God.
And And no fucking Tatooine. Everybody's sick of Tatooine. I'm so glad that they actually pulled Mando over to actual Mandalore. Like,
Yeah.
And Mando season, like the release date for Mando, I think we're going to know that. That's supposed to happen, around like fall? So I definitely think we're going to, and that normally happens in like November, late October. So I definitely think we're going to see the release date of season 4 with the trailer that was showed off.
Yeah. Mando. Wow.
So get hype.
All right. What else are we missing here from our list of predictions? Any other miscellaneous predictions? Pixar, Disney Plus specials, Imagineering documentary. What else are we going to get at D23 next month?
Oh, missed this, but there's going to be a new Star Tours. They didn't make it clear whether it's just going to be new missions or actual a whole new scenes to replace old ones.
And missions. It's new missions and scenes featuring Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, and of course Mando and Grogu.
So that's cool.
Are we talking Star Tours or the Aluminum Falcon?
The Star Tours.
Okay.
Millennium Falcon.
One more thing. All right, we didn't get Boba Fett and Fennec Shand over here in Orlando, but I think we're going to get those two and a Mando walk-around character, like the date they're going to drop on both Batu East and West. Because they can drop the ball on Fennec Shand and Boba. I don't know how they're going to, I don't care how they do it, but they're going to put Mando. Mando sells so much. Like, it's going to be kind of like, it's going to be like the Star-Lord and Groot meet and greet, like the baby Groot one. So you're going to probably have a little puppet off to the side with Grogu and his bassinet.
Is it going to be Mando in Batu?
Probably. Either there, it's going to be somewhere over in studios.
Well, no, it's Disney, so they'll put it by the 50s Primetime Cafe, because that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and these stores been vacant for years. They could. Never, they'd be like, oh, it's George Lucas, it fucking fits. But yeah. I think that's
all right, those are our predictions for D23 coming up next month. Write them down. See how accurate we are in those predictions. Anything else for this week's show?
One more. I think they announced a new AAA video game with a big developer, and I don't know which developer yet. And I don't know which IP yet. But
I think it was Marvel, right? Wasn't it Marvel?
It could be another Marvel game, but if it is a Marvel game, there's going to be another one on top of that. Maybe a Star Wars game. Besides Jedi Survivor.
Okay. Well, and Ryan, you know me. I'm still fawning for the open world Star Wars game that's going to come eventually, hopefully, maybe. So
you should get into Fallen Order. It's basically better it's a better story than all three of the sequels. Like,
I'm playing Fallen Order now because it was on sale last month for $10 on the PlayStation Store. I am playing it now. My only problem with it is that it seems more like it's Uncharted gameplay. Like, it's just puzzle solving. And
no, it's more like Dark Souls.
Like, it's like I want action. I want to cut people up with the lightsaber and stuff like that. It's more like puzzle solving. So, but I'm sticking with it. I'm playing it. Yeah. So I'll report back.
There is a lot of that. There's a lot of medial stuff. Oh, Force Unleashed was great.
Yeah,
I want an open world game where I can travel to Coruscant and Batu and Hoth and jump around universes.
Well,
we got open world.
Let's introduce Chris to the world of mods because they made a Star Wars game.
You don't get yourself a PC and stop bitching.
Oh my gosh! All right,
get No Man's Sky with some mods. Get No Man's Sky on the PC with some damn mods. Make your own shit.
Tommy, where can we find you online?
At Tommy Hawkins on Twitter and various stuff via Theme Park Stop.
This was exhausting. Jalen, where can we find you online?
Y'all can find me on Twitter at TCJalen and Tomorrow's Child on Instagram.
Ryan, where can we find you online?
I am at Imagineer6 on Twitter.
And you can find me at Wakefield Report everywhere. And you can follow us on the Mice Chat, Mice Pod Network. head over to micechat.com. I'm sorry, micechat.com. Micechat.com for the latest in theme park news, reviews, updates, and more. Micechat.com. They pay the bills for us, so a very special thank you to them. All right.
We didn't need the bleeper today, which is amazing.
We did not say any bad words, really bad words today, so that is very thankful. And before Jalen does, because I know he's thinking about it, we'll say thank you, and we'll see you all next time.